So tonight I had two really bad games, and I didn't want to let them be for nothing, and I want to teach you guys why having prio on lanes is important. So this is a very bad situation for me as a jungler, because I can see Riven has no intention of leashing for me. If I start bot side, I'm either forced to level 3 gank bot and force a 3v3, which I know I will lose because we are weaker, since we have Saya, Renata, while they have Ezreal and Rel, some of the strongest champions, and obviously Lee Sin. So there is no real good option for me. On top of that, I know for certain there's a ward here, and I was thinking Lee Sin might evade, so I pretty much adjusted and started blue. Now look at this. Right now, Akali is zoning Lee Sin, and since Lee Sin is zoned level 1, he has failed to invade me on my blue. So by this, I have assured my level 2, but it is not enough. Now, we are going to do a standard free camp siege, and as you might imagine, for the ones that understand what's going to happen, Lee Sin will force a level 3 invade. So let's talk about the level 3 invade. Why does this happen? Well, it simply happens because at level 3 the jungler is stronger than the level 3 mid, and the level 3 mid has no way of dealing with him. And if I pick anything here, any other jungler, even if I could beat potentially Lee Sin 1v1, as long as our bot lane is pushed in tower, as long as our mid lane is pushed in tower, there is usually no way to contest this except giving it up. So this is what ends up happening. Saya is in tower because she counterpicked herself, since he can only play Saya, he's an OTP, and when he doesn't play Saya, he plays Kai'Sa, so if you pick Ezreal into him, you murder his family, you end up his career. And obviously when Akali tries to do something, Akali is a useless champion, therefore we lose early game, Ezreal is ahead now, Saya is behind, and we are just vulnerable to this invade. Now I can, even if I give red buff, Lee Sin just takes his entire jungle, we are forever one level behind, then we lose Dragon, we lose Herald, we get Dove bot because Lee Sin will be 6, we get Dove mid, and so on. So why did this happen? It happened because we had bad picks. Akali is a terrible pick. It doesn't provide pressure, and even if she manages to provide some pressure early, she does nothing. She does nothing. This was bad from my part. To be honest, I even saw Saya behind. Obviously Saya with Ghost does nothing. Look, some Ghost value, guys. You could have had heal there and maybe save me, save yourself, but instead we have Ghost, the most useless summoner spell on AD carry next to Cleanse. Obviously this thing can dive him because he picks Saya, no pressure, Akali, no pressure, and Renata is somewhat of a flip pressure because it depends on the rest of our team. I'm not playing Renata pick. Next game. What happened next game? Next game we had Maokai. Let's see this one. Now, this game was a bit different. Why was it different? Because the opponents also picked a very terrible champion for early game, but with a very bad setup, which is TP and First Strike. Now, I am not going to argue with you guys why TP and First Strike are bad. Let's just say those don't have combat power. You might think of it as you want, but they don't have combat power. So what happens this game? Well, we flip it early game. We don't invade with level 1 blitz. I'm autopiling from top side. Actually, I should have started Raptors instead of red buff. It's not the worst thing in the world that what happened here, but obviously it would have been better for me to start Raptors. Viego starts red. He also kinda low-key autopilots, and he has now an opening towards mid, potentially, and towards the gank bot, which is not really efficient since you're going to gank Blitz Caitlyn with a Janna and Kaisa. And obviously this is one of the situations where Akali could potentially provide something as somewhat resembling pressure. So this was kind of bad from Blitz. He misses hook in tower. We could have had a kill here. It could have been better. Let's say we don't have Blitz, we have Soraka. It might have been similar outcome. Viego gets away. Now, I understand that Blitz missing hook messes up the tempo, but that's not and misses the kill, obviously. But that's not what I'm trying to showcase. What I'm trying to showcase is that even if you have somewhat prio with Akali, well, guess what? Viego can just do this. And now what? Guess not what? Now we lost prio. What does Akali do here, bros? Nothing. So I actually managed to get to him. And look at this. Akali is going melee range to a 400 HP Viego. Now, do you guys think this would happen? And obviously this misses another hook. Do you guys think this would happen if we had, I don't know, let's say Anivia? I don't know, let's say Vex. I don't know, let's say Nico. I don't know, let's say LeBlanc. Obviously not, because those champions can somewhat get prio and somewhat pressure, and even if they don't, they are useful because they have CC, they have range, they have damage. Now, I understand again in this situation, Blitz could have hit those 2 Qs, but at the same time, when you don't pick a viable mid laner, you expose your jungler to this invade that always happens, and in competitive play it's the most common thing that always happens. When your support and mid in pick, this will always happen. They will always level 3 invade you, they will always play this way. So that's why it's important not to pick shit like Zed, not to pick Akali, not to pick TP first strike, and sometimes you pick TP first strike and the opponent picks Akali, so it ends up being both mids having no pressure, and this is bad for both teams, but who cares? One mid has to win and the other has to lose. They can't both lose, and so on and so forth. So this is why you should always pick for prio. If you don't pick for prio, this will always happen. Just pick viable champs, bros. It's not that hard.